In a nation rich in culture, resources, and potential, Nigeria, like other member states of the United Nations, stands at a crossroads in its journey towards sustainable development. With the clock ticking toward the 2030 deadline for the Sustainable Development Goals, urgent action is required to ensure that no one is left behind. On October 8 and 9, 2024, the Office of the Senior Special Assistant to the President on SDGs, in collaboration with the United Nations Development Programme, convened the pivotal National Stakeholders Consultative Meeting. The purpose was to review Nigeria's progress on the Sustainable Development Goals. Over 2 days, stakeholders from various sectors, public, private, civil society, and development partners gathered to reflect on their roles in achieving these global goals, with 230 key performance indicators to guide the discussions. The focus was on reporting inclusive progress. According to Princess Adejoke Orilokpe Adefulire, the recommendations from the 2023 United Nations Secretary-General Summit highlight 6 critical pathways: food systems, education, energy access, digital connectivity, job and social protection, and the climate change. These pathways are not just theoretical, they align with our national priorities and the renewed hope agenda of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's administration.
As key stakeholders, we can contribute to the prioritization of the transition for effective implementation of the SDGs in Nigeria. The 2024 draft SDG Progress Report that we presented to us provide opportunity for us to fast track and to track progress, as our chair of the Civil Society Strategy Group has told us that we need to track, to do more of M&E, monitoring and evaluation, to know where we are and to be able to benchmark ourselves to where we are going. So also to identify implementation challenges and offer key recommendations for follow-up at various levels of governance in Nigeria.
Princess Adejoke Orilokpe Adefulire noted that the outcome of the consultation will serve as a foundational report for Nigeria's voluntary national review, scheduled for presentation at the High-Level Political Forum in July 2025.
The report is coming at a time when world leaders adopted the Path for the Future during the 79th session of the United Nations General Assembly last month, September. Through the Path, our leaders have collectively reaffirmed their commitment to take bold, ambitious, accelerated, just and transformative action to fast-track the achievement of the SDGs. The SDG report is coming on the eve of Nigeria's 3rd voluntary national review. As you all know, that the first national review was rendered to the High-Level Political Forum in 2017, and the second one was rendered in 2020, in the middle of the COVID-19. And we are planning to report the 3rd voluntary national report by next year. By God's grace, God keep all of us alive. So it will be presented at the High-Level Political Forum in July 2025.
Princess Orilokpe Adefulire expressed optimism about the insights gained. She added that the consultation is crucial to assessing Nigeria's accomplishments while confronting the challenges ahead. It also aims to determine the success of the 2030 agenda for Nigeria.
The report will provide useful content to the voluntary national review. As usual, we have commenced the voluntary national review process with the timely establishment of the multi-stakeholders core working group. The core working group has membership from all across the relevant MDAs, United Nations Development System, Private Sector Advisory Group, Civil Society Strategy Group, Sustainable Development Solution Network, Senior Citizen and Disability Community, and other critical stakeholders. The core working group to be chaired by the Secretary of Programs of Office of the Senior Special Assistant to the President on SDGs, Engineer Ahmed Kau, and to co-chair by UNDP Senior Economic Advisor, my brother here, who is representing the resident representative of UNDP. They will provide technical and professional leadership in the entire VNI report processes. This includes coordination and consultation with all the segments of the society for an inclusive and participatory process. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, permit me at this junction to use this opportunity to formally inaugurate the core working group on Nigeria 2025 Voluntary National Review.
As the stakeholders noted, it is essential to have effective monitoring mechanisms in place to evaluate progress and hold everyone accountable, as achieving the SDGs requires collective action. No single entity can do it alone.
Each one of us here, representing a group, have a critical role to play, and it is our convergence that the true strength of this endeavor lies. Now, the SDGs are not just global aspirations, as we would agree. They are a commitment. They are a promise that has been made to millions of Nigerians and billions also around the world to enhance the quality of life through sustainable development. This gathering and this morning, the consultative process, serves as a reminder that no one sector or entity can achieve these goals on their own. It is through the united efforts of each of us, from the halls of government to the boardrooms of businesses, from grassroots organizations to civil societies, United Nations agencies, international development partners, that we can truly make a difference.
You know, when you do anything and you do not monitor and review what you're doing like you are doing now, you won't know when you miss the targets. So monitoring is essential. We urge every entity that is promoting and supporting our SDG projects to please institute monitoring mechanism or relate with us, and society will help monitor all these projects wherever they are. There are 17 SDGs. Our current study is indicating that people's approach, understanding, and buy-in into all the SDGs vary.
As the meeting progressed, challenges were identified and strategies were developed to overcome them. The collaboration between sectors aims to ensure that every Nigerian benefits from the promises of the SDGs was highlighted, as stakeholders also agreed to harness the expertise and resources of both public and private sectors to reinforce their overall commitment to the 2030 agenda and ensure sustainable development for all Nigerians. The UNDP resident representative, Esia Atafua, represented by Senior Economic Advisor Tony Muhamuza, contributed to the discussion. He emphasized that achieving Agenda 2030 hinges on the actions stakeholders take today, and affirmed that the UNDP remains committed to working with Nigeria to ensure that the benefits of the SDGs become a reality for all Nigerians.
The SDGs go beyond they actually go beyond a set of ambitions that demonstrate our shared roadmap for a better tomorrow, but they actually ensure that every Nigerian, regardless of background, actually prospers. As we come together to assess Nigeria's progress across the different SDGs, it is important for us all not only to celebrate the accomplishments, but also confront the challenges before us. The draft SDG progress report that we are going to discuss together here, if you get a chance to review it, you realize it is actually providing valuable insights into the advances that the government of Nigeria has actually made in several areas, including gender equality. We are seeing some progress in renewable energy. We are also seeing some strong progress in areas of strengthening partnerships. But it also goes ahead to create some more balance by establishing the significant gap that persists in our journey to achieve the 2030 agenda. We see several challenges in areas of eradicating poverty, in areas of equality. We see also challenges, like quite a number of other countries, in areas of universal access to health care, ending hunger, combating the existential threat to climate change, and quite a number of others. And as my colleague has mentioned, the regression on SDGs happening in quite a number of countries, and Nigeria is not an exception. But it's not something we really need to be proud of, and I think that's why we are all here, to see how we can chart a way forward together.
In the pursuit of sustainable development, Nigeria's journey is one of collaboration, commitment, and hope. Together, stakeholders are ready to push for accelerated action, ensuring that the Sustainable Development Goals are not just ambitions, but a shared reality for all. Agenda 2030 spoke with the Senior Technical Advisor to the OSSAP-SDGs and provided further insight into the aims and objectives of the consultative meeting.
So what we are doing today and tomorrow with the national stakeholders here in Abuja is basically to review progress on the implementation of the SDGs, identify implementation challenges, as well as offer key recommendations to strengthen and fast-track the implementation of the SDGs. Recall that world leaders, of course, adopted the SDGs in 2015, and I mean, we have only 6 years to implement the Sustainable Development Goals. So in the wisdom of the Senior Special Assistant to the President on Sustainable Development Goals is to pause and take stock of our stewardship of the implementation of the SDGs in Nigeria. And what we are trying to do is to share the key findings of the SDG Progress Report 2024 with critical stakeholders across all the key segments of the society for an inclusive, broad-based, and participatory review of the draft report. What we are doing here today in Abuja is a clear demonstration of Nigeria's commitment to the 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development and the Sustainable Development Goals. Without that commitment, we won't be taking stock of progress or lack of it, and bringing in critical stakeholders to brainstorm and find, if you like, the way forward in terms of key recommendations and their implementation strategies. So I'd like to conclude and argue that the Nigerian government has so far demonstrated strong commitment in the implementation of the Sustainable Development Goals. Appropriate institutional frameworks have been established at the national and at the subnational level to guarantee effective implementation. And from the stakeholders that are here today in Abuja, we have all the 36 states SDG focal persons, we have all the statisticians general, and we have representatives from the federal ministries, department, and agencies. We equally have the organized private sector represented, as well as the civil society strategy group. Of course, the United Nations Development System are our partners in this, and we can better imagine the outcome of this dialogue. Okay, so at the end of this consultative meeting, we expect that feedback, comments, input from critical stakeholders will then be integrated into the final version of the 2024 SDG Progress Report for Nigeria. And with that, we are then able to proceed with the process for our voluntary national review due to be submitted to the United Nations High-Level Political Forum in July next year.